All right, there it is. It's good. I can see. Thank you so much. All right. So does everyone have your piece of paper there? Ready to go with your stories today? Praise the Lord. I'm so happy for today. Today is going to be interactive. It's going to be fun. And the first thing I want to do with you is I'm actually going to walk you through this 7-minute gospel presentation. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to, once we're joined by the second years, we're going to have a look at Jesus at the door, which I mentioned yesterday. And we're actually going to be practicing a lot today in front of each other, out in groups. It's going to be really special. You excited? Who's nervous about preaching? Yeah, it's all right. It's totally normal. I'm going to show you a video today featuring a gentleman by the name of Steve Hill. Ooh. And Steve Hill was the evangelist when the Brownsville revival was on. And I actually have spent a fair bit of time with his widow because he passed away. And she tells me that he vomited every single day. He'd either vomit or have diarrhea or both every single day of the revival. And I think he preached for something like, don't quote me on this, but something like 7 years, almost every single day he preached. And almost every single day he was sick. But he wasn't, when I say sick, like nervous or, his bowels were, But it wasn't a fear of the people. It was a reverence to the Lord. It was this sense that I cannot believe the honour and the privilege of getting to deliver this message. That I get to preach. And he felt like the fear of the Lord. And she would tell stories of how he would be, she'd come home and he would be just curled up on the stairs, just crying out to the Lord. Oh God, give us souls. Oh God, praying with such fear before the Lord. My arm hairs are starting to stand up because I'm like, and I'm not nervous in front of people. I don't know if you picked that up. No people intimidate me. It's quite funny, especially after Nigeria. We had like a price on our head and people were trying to kill us. They were hiding in the schools with rocks ready to stone us. They stopped our cars with swords. It was all fun. And so we had armed security, so it was all good. A few shots in the air and the swords realised you don't bring a sword to a gunfight, so they went away. But I remember coming back from Nigeria and I just saw this big group of Muslim men in a park and I just went straight up to them. I said, hey guys, are you Muslims? And they're like, yeah. I said, can I please share the gospel with you? And they're out there with a picnic with all their families. When when Arab families get together, they all get together. Yeah. So everyone's there. Yeah. And so I just planted myself. They said I could, so I went for it. I just unpacked the gospel. And, and in the past, I would have been like, that's a little bit intimidating, But I was like, wow, Muslims that don't have swords, let's go. I want to preach the gospel. So, I really encourage you, don't be scared of people, break off that fear of man, greater is he who's in me than he who's in the world, I think it's in Jeremiah that he talks about it's either Jeremiah or Joshua, it might be both, talks about not being afraid of them, talks about how he'll make you like harder than they are, like your head will be hard. Yeah. And I really believe that the Lord is with you, the Lord is fighting for you. And, even logically, if you break it down, who cares? Yeah. Like, who cares whether your neighbour or this sounds terrible, but I think you'll get what I'm saying. Whether your neighbour or whether the stranger on the street or whatever thinks that your story is funny, or that it works, or actually likes your hairstyle or likes how you dress, or who cares? Because at the end of the day, most people aren't lying in bed thinking about, how you sounded silly today. They're not. They're thinking about their own world and what's going on in their own world. So really, your job is to deliver the gospel and just walk away. And don't worry about what people think per se. I often give this analogy, and I hope it's helpful. We are the pizza delivery drivers, we're not the chefs. So you did not come up with the gospel. It wasn't your plan to save the world. It's not your message. You didn't die on the cross. And so you imagine you dial a pizza company. You say, hey, how you doing? I'm just wondering if I could order a pizza. Could you deliver it? Yes, sure thing. We'll send our driver out. The driver comes to your house, knocks on the door, says, your pizza's here. You say, thanks so much. You hand over the money. He says, can I come inside, please? You say, sorry? He goes, I want to watch you eat the pizza. Sorry? I want to see if you like it. Do you like the flavor? Do you like how it tastes? You know, you go, hey buddy, you're the pizza delivery driver. You're not the chef. You didn't come up with the ingredients. The only measure that you can really measure is did you deliver it on time and did you deliver it hot? That's it. You were on time, it was hot. Thanks so much, have a good day. And so often we're like, did they accept it? Were they moved? Did they receive it? And if they didn't, we get discouraged, we go home, we go, I'm never doing that again, you know. And if they liked it, we're like, whoa, yeah, I'm awesome, woohoo, you know. But if you fall on the criticisms of people, or you rise on the praises of people, you're going to live your life like a roller coaster. And it is bad. It is dangerous. Because you will crash again and again and again. But when you know who you are, and this is why we spent so much time yesterday talking about who we are as His children, then we're able to be consistent and constant, regardless of whether people accept or reject. So, got a little something for you. I want you to do this with me if you can. I'm going to ask you to stand. All right, we're going to stand together. We've got a little repeat after me. Then we're going to go through this 7-minute gospel presentation. All right. So repeat after me. I am an evangelist.
I am an evangelist.
I carry the gospel.
I carry the gospel.
I deliver it hot.
I deliver it hot.
God gets the glory.
God gets the glory.
End of the story.
End of the story.
All right, so we go again. I am an evangelist.
I am an evangelist.
I carry the gospel.
I carry the gospel.
I deliver it hot.
I deliver it hot.
God gets the glory.
God gets the glory.
End of the story.
End of the story.
One more time. I am an evangelist.
I am an evangelist.
I carry the gospel.
I carry the gospel.
I deliver it hot.
I deliver it hot.
God gets the glory.
God gets the glory.
End of the story.
End of the story.
All right, thank you. Sit down. All right. So, if you can get that into your heart and into your spirit that you are an evangelist, that you carry the gospel, you deliver it hot, and then God gets the glory, and that's the end of the story. You're not going to be riding and, we follow up and we check on people because we love them. But we don't need to follow up and check on people because we want to somehow be more valued or valuable. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I know you guys get this, but I'll just say it again and again and again and again because I need to hear it again and again.
Yeah, that's good.
The temptation is always. So Andrew, how was your time in California? And I remember a friend of mine, he's like, Andrew, when I read your newsletters, this was a while ago, he says, it's like you're looking for the most dramatic story in the world. We met this homeless person, she had 17 needles in her body, and then, we prayed for her and she got set free from her drug addiction and now she's going to church, she got baptized, she got filled with the fire. He said, Andrew, I don't care. He goes, I support you because I love you and I believe in you and I believe in your family and what you're doing. Like, you don't need to come up with some grand story. We're supporting you out of obedience and because we love you. It's okay, Just take the pressure off. You hear what I'm saying? So when I go back from this trip, I'm going to tell people a few cool stories, of course, And people want to know, what did I give my money to, Why are we supporting your ministry? Yeah, I'll tell them some cool stories, but I'm not going to exaggerate, and I'm not going to rise and fall based off whether I got a story or a salvation or you know what I mean? So even like I was in Japan recently and they posted that they saw 2 salvations But when I tell people, I say, we had 2 decisions at the church. I'm not too sure. One of the guys didn't seem like fully convinced, but he's definitely interested, and he did pray with us. And the other guy, I don't know whether he was already a Christian or not, but he definitely wanted to give his heart to Jesus, like you could really see it, you know? And I'll just be real with people, rather than saying, yeah, we had 2 salvations, and I'm like, and that's not a criticism of my friends in Japan. I think they know the people better, and I'm not going to judge them, you know, for their post, but it's just can be very interesting that we rise and fall, you know, with that. So let's not do that. All right, yes.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Isn't it like the Lord that judges the heart, so like we don't really know?
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I said the prayer, if somebody didn't come after them and somebody come after, like, I probably wouldn't be walking with Jesus all these years later, but you know what I mean? So it's like I get really excited about stories too. I mean,
Yeah.
as you do.
Oh.
I mean, these stories are amazing. But even just like if somebody says the prayer, like I don't know if they genuinely, they're saying they believe in their heart, like I totally get all of yesterday, but how do we know if it's the Lord, the one that tests the heart, searches the heart, if they're genuinely...
Yeah, and that's the thing. We kind of don't really know. However, fruit will show you.
Yeah.
So fruit, you know, you'll know them by their fruit. So we do actually know. Like you do know because you see fruit. So when you see fruit in someone's life, you go, wow, there was transformation.
But if you never see them again?
Yeah, if you never see them again, you'll never know until you get to heaven.
So years later, and people tell you amazing testimonies
Yeah.
when you pray for God.
Yeah, wild, eh? So, yeah, it's good. I'll tell that story in a minute too,
Okay,
because when I get to altar calls. So yes, go for it.
Do you feel like it's a bad thing to want like a reaction from people? Like for instance, I went to Kaiser on Sunday and I shared my testimony with both the doctors and then like talked to one lady and prayed for another one to get healing. And it's like the whole time it was like, I mean, it's not like I was like looking to do that. It's just like the doors just open and I was like, yeah, like let me share my testimony really quick. Let me pray for this person to get healing. But it's like I get frustrated like not seeing people get healed and like not seeing people really. I guess you don't know for sure, but like I feel like you can tell when someone receives something, you know? And I'm like, I got in the car and I was just so frustrated. I was like, God, like what do I have to do to see people actually receive? Like I want them to experience your presence. I want them to know that you're real, because if they don't know that you're real, like how can you blame them for not choosing you? Like, if I prayed for them and they didn't feel your presence, like, you know, I'm like, I want to be able to pray for people and they feel the tangible presence of God and know like, man, like this God is real. And so like I was like kind of arguing with him in the car and I was just like, you know what, it's on you. Like those are like, I did my part, I prayed for them. But like if you don't show up, that's on you. Yeah.
But it's also on the person. Because if we draw near to God, God will draw near to us. So you can't put it all on God. because you can pray for someone and they're like, yeah, go for it, pray for me. But they have such incredible unforgiveness towards this person or hatred for God in their heart or whatever. And so it's like great prayer, but they have to also partner. Like they've got to humble themselves before the Lord, you know. So yeah, so I'd be cautious to put it all on God. God doesn't want anyone to perish. Yeah, He's working. So, but yeah, but I think your point of like I delivered it, and that's it. It's good.
That's right.
But is it wrong to want?
And it's on that 2 things. I would say number 1, we're co-laborers with Christ. So I don't know a single labourer in the world that doesn't want their work to be completed. You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're painting, whether you're building a brick wall, whether you're landscape gardening, whatever work you're doing, you want to see it come to completion. That's very natural. So I think it's very natural. The other thing is we're called fishers of men. How many fishermen do you know that just like keep fishing and love life and they never ever catch fish? You just wouldn't do it. You're like, there's a joy and this is what I tell people. I'm like, if Christianity's not working for you, people are like, I tried Christianity, it didn't work. I'm like, did you go fishing? Did you catch fish? Because Jesus wanted to, when he called us to become fishers of men. He told us to be co-laborers. He prayed to the Lord to Ekballo workers into the harvest. He wanted to send us out. We're actually meant to get our hands dirty saving souls. And the Lord created you for that. And so I think it's natural that there is a buzz. There is an excitement. To me, like, there's nothing better, you know. I want to see it. Of course I want to see it. But I'm not going to allow my, like, mental health and emotional state of being and well-being and, you know, identity and everything to rise and fall on whether I get a reaction. I pray for someone to get healed. They didn't get healed. It's okay. I'll pray for the next person. They don't get healed. It's okay. I pray for the next person. They get healed. Wow, hallelujah. But my identity doesn't shift. Whether they get healed or whether they don't get healed.
Okay.
Of course, I naturally want them to get healed. And there's value in, like, when the fish gets away, it should drive you to want to catch another fish.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I missed that one. What do I have to do next time? How do I change things? Lord, how do I, teach me to pray? Teach me how to share the gospel well. Do I need to change the bait? Do I need to change the hook? Do I need to change the location? Like, what do I need to do, Lord? I want to catch fish, But there is a way of maintaining your joy despite your circumstances.
Yes.
We're not talking about happiness, we're talking about joy. It's different. Right, we're good?
Good.
I want to go through this 7-minute gospel presentation very quickly, just to help you, and then just some pointers really, and then we're going to go and practice, okay? So, I'm going to give you I came up with this morning, so you are the first people to hear this one. I'm going to give you the A, B, C, D, E, and F of street preaching. Okay, so A through to F of street preaching. So, A, you want to attract a crowd. Okay? So the first thing you're doing when you come to preach the gospel is you want to attract a crowd or you want to find a crowd. So on Friday we're going to go out. If any of you have any ideas as to good places that have crowds, please let me know. Last time we went to Old Town Pasadena, and if I'm perfectly honest with you, they weren't great fishing spots. So as a fisherman, I go spearfishing, and I love spearfishing. I don't understand fishing from above the water because you can't see the fish. But when I'm in the water, I can see them all. I know exactly where they are. I find them, I kill them, and I eat them. Oh, it's so good.
End of story.
End of story. So you want to find where are the fish. So when I go spearfishing, the first thing I do is I go on Google Earth and I actually map. So you can actually map your area and find out the best fishing spots. I know just from going on Google Earth where are the good spearfishing spots, because I'll see there's a little bit of weed, a little bit of grass, not Californian weed or grass, like seaweed, and there's a little bit of weed, there's a bit of grass, and usually there's some rocks, there's a little bit of a shelf. You can actually work that all out from an aerial photo, and then I will drive down there, but I've got to make sure the conditions are right, wind and tide and all of that, and then I jump in and I have a look. And if for whatever reason I was wrong, that's okay, I move to another spot. So you want to attract or find a crowd. Great places for street preaching have a crowd that will actually stick around. So we were in Tokyo recently and we were preaching on the side of a street, a very busy street, with thousands of people. No one was sticking around because they were all in a hurry. It was like a big kind of rush spot. And I said, we need to change fishing locations. The fish aren't biting here. There's no fish here. There's fish, but they're not biting. You know what I mean? You can have fish, but if they're not biting, you're wasting your time. So, well, you're not sparing them. But I'll use old-fashioned, fish. And so, or, in Jesus' day, they'd throw the nets out. But if they didn't catch the fish, you've got to throw them on the other side. You've got to find another spot. So, we went to a park. And at the park, people were sitting around, just chilling out. It was perfect. So they heard the whole message and multiple different messages, different ways, because they were there the whole time. It was just amazing. Then we actually had a huge conversation with a Turkish Muslim background atheist. It was amazing in Tokyo. I mean, what is going on? That was so special. So, and he listened to the whole thing. So find spots where people are lingering, or shorten your message if it's just a short, like you're going to get them for a moment. I know people that will target like traffic lights, where people have to wait, pedestrian crossings, because they know that they've got about 30 seconds. Hey friends, I hope you're doing well. I want to tell you Jesus loves you so much. He died on the cross for your sin. The Bible says the wages of your sin is death, but Jesus died the death that you were meant to die so that you can live the life that He wants to give you. If you want to know more about God and how to get to heaven, I encourage you to pray to Jesus as you go to bed tonight. Have a good day. God bless you guys. Boom, they cross the road. So you've just you've done your best. You've just got a little seed out there. Boom, you didn't necessarily get all 5 points, and you didn't get an altar call, and you couldn't give them follow-up material, but you sowed a seed. So you've got to work out where, where, what, how, when, all of those kind of details. So, attract a crowd. How do you attract a crowd? Hello, Pasadena! People will at least look at you. There's one story that we teach people about a little boy poking a bird in a bird cage. You go, I want to tell you a story. There was a little boy poking birds in a bird cage, and he could hear this sound. Ah! 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 When you do that, sorry. When you do the, sorry, she wants to hear the, Erin wants to hear
We're going to record it for her.
when you do that, the whole crowd, like everyone will look at you. And then you keep telling the story. They're like, what is this guy doing? So you want to attract a crowd. Music can do that. Often we'll do music. And drama, skit, all of that can attract a crowd. So feel free to get creative. There's a story we tell about 3 demons in hell that we're having a meeting about how to best destroy the world. And in short, the last demon says, we'll go to the earth, we'll tell them the Bible's real, God's real, but they can just follow Him tomorrow.
Whoa.
And so that's the punchline. I could teach you the whole story later. But I've been thinking lately, I should buy 3 demon masks. And as I tell the story, have 3 people like this, and pretending to have the meeting and all of that. Because that would draw a crowd. And imagine if you did it at Halloween. You found a big spot at Halloween and said, I want to tell you a story about 3 demons from hell. No one's going to think you're going to preach the gospel.
Oh, right.
They're going to think, oh, cool, a Satanist. Yeah, come on, bro. And then you're like, boom.
That's the American accent.
Don't wait till tomorrow. Today is the day of salvation. Now is the time. Tomorrow's not promised. Boom, like that.
Like that.
Drop the mic. Drop the can. Hallelujah. All right. So A, attract or find a crowd. B, you want to build rapport. So write this down. A is attract a crowd. B is build rapport. So you want to build a connection. Rapport being like a connection or some sort of respect. So my name is Andrew, and I'm from Australia, but I actually lived here in Pasadena for 3 years. I love this town. My favourite pizza is definitely Blaze. But hey, there's a bit of competition in town, isn't there? I want to tell you a story. Boom. So then people are like, hey, we like this guy, So very short, very succinct. How do you build rapport? When I'm overseas, I will usually compliment something to do with the culture or the food, or I'll make a joke. Jokes almost always build rapport. Yeah. So in Kenya, I might be like, Jambo, which means hello, and then I'll say, I'm so happy to be here. You have the best ugali in all of Africa. Ugali is a local food. The only problem is, they're not going to let me back on the aeroplane because I'm getting so fat in Kenya. And everyone's like, Now they want to hear what I have to say, you know? So you just think about what's a way to, you know, build a bit of connection. All right, the third thing, so A, B, C. C is you want to, I just made this up this morning, so I didn't even write it down.
Charisma?
A, B, C. No. You want to build rapport. You want to catch people's attention. All right. So you build rapport. You catch people's attention. So at that point, I will usually even grab a couple of people really quickly. So you with the glasses at the back, can you give me a wave if you can hear me? Hey, you with the combi on your top, give me a wave if you can hear me. I'm going to tell the most amazing story. Just give me 3 minutes of your time. So you want to catch their attention. And then D, you want to deliver your story and the gospel. So D is deliver. You got to move into the delivery of the story and the gospel. E is you want to evacuate souls from hell. So you want to give an altar call that is so urgent, it is as if the street itself is on fire and they have one chance and one chance alone to get out of the flames of hell. And then F, you want to finish with a prayer. Okay? Now, I want to walk you through very quickly. So F is that prayer of salvation. If you want to, you can put in a G there. I'm just making this up as I go. And G is get their contact details. So G is actually, you want to, if someone gets saved, you want to, so you could actually do it as 2 G's. Ready? Give them follow-up material, get their contact details. So give and get. F was finish with a prayer. Finish with a prayer. And then G, so we're going A to G. Give them follow-up material, get their contact details. Okay? Now, I want to just walk you through each. I did the A, attracting a crowd. B, what was B?
Build rapport.
Build rapport, so I've done that. C,
Catch their attention.
I showed you that one as well. Hey guys on the motorbikes, don't leave just yet. Give me 3 minutes, this will change your life forever. Alright, and then D, deliver. Now I want to talk about what makes a good story. A good story, because I'm going to teach you one, but you're going to find lots of stories throughout your life, okay? And you may already have some up your sleeves. A good story that you want to deliver has, number one, a lot of tension. Think about any Hollywood movie that you just love. It's got tension, 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 and then at the end, the tension is resolved. So you're sitting on the edge of your seat, either saying, who did it? Did he end up marrying the girl? You know, did they survive the war? You know, you're constantly asking this question that keeps you engaged until the end. So for example, the little boy with the boat, you're asking the question, did he get his boat back? You know, he's crying and he's doing all these chores to get the money. Does he walk back into the store and they already sold it? You know? Or is it still there and he gets it back? Did he make enough money to get it back? You know, you want to know what happened to that little boat. And it's the same, I might demonstrate some other stories later, but all the stories that I'll use, that we encourage you to use, have tension, and then they have resolution. So even if you think about the parable of the sower and the seeds, some seeds fell here and they shriveled up. Some seeds fell here and they choked up. Some seeds fell here and they were eaten by the birds. You imagine Jesus is telling this story. Everyone's like, was there any point in sowing seeds? You know, that all the seeds, but some, they actually sprung up and they brought a harvest. They brought an increase. They brought a multiplication. Oh, I want to be like that seed. He doesn't say a farmer went out, he sowed his seeds, and some of them came up and there was an incredible harvest. Hallelujah! But others of them shriveled up, and then there were ones that were choked by the weeds, and ones got taken by the... You don't give your attention after you've given the big hurrah. You give it before, because then it makes us want to hear what's the solution, what's the big piece. Does that make sense? All right. And then you want to deliver the gospel. I've already talked about those 5 essential elements of the gospel. You really want to know how to deliver the gospel in like 2 minutes. It's very simple. You know, if you get lost, the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. Know your like key scriptures. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he sent his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. So know kind of your key scriptures, and it's very, very doable to have the gospel in 2 minutes, and we're going to practice that. And then you come to the altar call. So you've delivered the story, you've delivered the gospel, and now you want to evacuate the souls from hell. And a good altar call is the difference that makes the difference. Evangelist Calendar says, and I believe it came from Reinhard Bonnke, who probably got it from somewhere else because there's nothing new under the sun. Mind at the beginning what matters in the end. Know how you're going to land the plane. Know, you do not want to launch out off to the sky and you didn't think about your landing gear. You don't want to fly an airplane. You don't want to take off and not think about your landing gear. So mind in the beginning what matters at the end. So many of us, we prepare our sermon and then we go, and then I guess I'll finish at about half an hour, But we don't think about the punchline. We don't think about how we end well. And let me say this, a good story always has a punchline. Always. Where everyone goes, you heard it when I said, and then the third demon says, we'll go to the earth and we'll tell them, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But they can just follow God tomorrow. When you share that, people go, you see it. So a good punchline, and your message needs to have a good punchline, and the punchline is the altar call. That is the end piece. And when you're doing an altar call, I want you to do what we call, at CFAM we call it closing the nets. I want you to mend the holes in the net that fish could escape through. So imagine you've got a net, you've thrown it out, but there's a few holes that fish could swim out from. You want to mend those holes. Deal with the excuses and the reasons as to why I'm not going to get saved today. So I recommend you try for, I almost never get 7 in, try for 7 excuses before you ask people to pray a prayer of salvation, right? Which, as we've talked about, it is a step in that journey, that prayer of salvation. I do believe in that prayer. In fact, it talks about I think it's John 20, but don't quote me, it could be 24. The disciples are in the upper room, they've locked themselves in the room, they're scared, and Jesus comes in and he says, as the Father has sent me, I'm sending you, peace be with you, breathes on them, they receive the Holy Spirit. Then he says, if you forgive anyone's sins, they will be forgiven, and if you withhold forgiveness, they won't be forgiven. What's he saying? You now represent me. When you stand with someone and you say, let's pray, God's going to forgive your sins. They are forgiven. Like, you're actually like his ambassador, and when you pray that prayer, it has power. There's no plan B, like we're it. If you don't get out there and say, right now, let me pray for you because God's going to forgive your sins, their sins won't be forgiven. Isn't that wild? That's like a big responsibility. And if you don't do that, they won't be forgiven. It's clear as day, it's written in the scripture, you can read it. So, I want to encourage you, give that altar call and deal with the excuses, then pray. So I would, let's say I'm doing an altar call here in Pasadena. I would look at, I would even potentially go on my fingers. So, how to give an altar call? You want to be urgent, you want to be clear, and you want to deal with multiple excuses. So right now, I would invite you to give your life to Jesus. If you want to turn from your sin and become a follower of Jesus, and you believe that He died on the cross and rose for your sin, now is your time. Now is your moment of salvation. You can step from darkness to light. Maybe you're here and you'd say, but Andrew, I'm a good person. The Bible says there's no one that's good, no, not one. Only Jesus is good enough to get you into heaven. Maybe you say, but Andrew, I grew up in a Christian home. I went to a Christian school. My friend, when you get to the gates of heaven, no one's asking what school did you go to. They're asking, is Jesus in your heart? Maybe you're here and you say, I'm too dirty for God. My friend, that's like saying you're too dirty to have a shower. My friend, the blood of Jesus is like the soap for your soul. He wants to clean up your mess. You don't have to be clean to come to Jesus. Maybe you're here and you'd say, but I'm from a different religion. I'm not having a conversation about religion today, friends. It's about relationship. Do you want to have a relationship with God? Maybe you're here and you say, I'm too far gone. I've made too many mistakes. He'll never forgive me. My friend, God can forgive any sin in your life. He wants to save you today. Maybe you say, but how do I know He's real? Give Him a try. Give Him a try today. Right now, if you're ready to give your life to Jesus, throw away the excuses. Say, God, I'm ready for you. I want you to pray this prayer with me. Are you ready? Lift your hand if that's you. Maybe you're saying, but I'm not ready. My friend, today's your day. Don't wait for tomorrow. Lift your hand if you want to receive Jesus. Now, another way of doing the altar call is as you hit the excuses, you get people to lift their hands. So you say, I'm going to ask you to lift your hand if you want to follow Jesus. Maybe you say, I'm too dirty for God. You're not too dirty from God. Lift your hand. Maybe you say, I'm from a different religion, but you need to follow Jesus. Lift your hand. So you can either do lift your hand at the end or lift your hand as you go. Then once you've seen the hands go up, then you say, let's pray this prayer together. And if you choose to close your eyes as the person praying, close them for like 1 second. So you go, let's pray this prayer together. Everyone that's going to pray closes their eyes. You open your eyes straight away. Why? Because when you're on the streets, there's so many different things happening. And you actually don't want to have your eyes closed. We were preaching in a Muslim school once, and the girl had her eyes closed while the teachers were moving around like getting ready for a fight. Like it was getting dangerous. It was getting scary. And so we've had guys, they're on the street, someone comes up, throws a beer at them, You want to have your eyes open. But the other reason you want to have your eyes open is you want to see what is God doing. Wow. And I have a friend and he says, I warn you, if you do not want to be an evangelist, do not open your eyes during the prayer of salvation. When you see someone on the side of the street and they're like this, oh God, forgive me, or you see them kneel down, I've seen this on the streets, and they're crying out to God, you will get so addicted to fishing, you'll be like, we going out tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after. Open your eyes and see what the Lord is doing. Yes. The other thing is you can then see there's demons manifesting, etc., etc. So eyes open, and I will say this, always, always, always finish with a prayer. So you do your altar call, you're evacuating the souls from hell, and you finish with a prayer because you never know who's listening. I have said, if you prayed that prayer with us, we'd love to give you some follow-up material, and we'd love to get your contact details because we want to walk with you in this new journey of yours. Then just come see me right now. I want to shake your hand. I want to bless you. And a lady once jumped out of a building. Literally, there was a building across the road. She jumped out of the window, jumped over a fence, and ran in. We just did a festival in Indonesia, and they were getting all these reports of people that got saved in their homes. they were coming to church and saying, I gave my life to Jesus. Oh, but I didn't see you at the festival. No, I was at home. But I could hear the speaker system. And when they said to pray, to give your life to Jesus, I prayed the prayer in my living room, and now I'm a Christian, so I'm here at church. So they're getting all these reports, like multiple reports of people that got saved. The problem is we say, lift your hand if you want to give your life to Jesus. No one lifts their hand, so we say, all right, thanks so much, Pastor Nina, have a good day. Don't ever do that. Say, wow. So if you lift your hand, all right, whether you've lifted your hand or not today, if you want to give your life to Jesus right now, pray this prayer with me. Pray the prayer as if everyone's repeating it after you. Okay? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
All right, and then, like I said, give details, get details. So I would usually finish by saying, you prayed that prayer. I've got some friends with me. They're waving their hands. Maybe when we go out in the streets, we'll take those brown Bibles. They've got these Bibles they'd like to give you, and they're free. Just grab one off them. Even if you didn't pray the prayer, we'd love to give you a Bible. God bless you. Hey, thanks so much. See you, Pasadena. So that's how I do my 7 minutes, okay? Now, when you're telling your story, I want you to become an actor. And some of you are like, I hated acting class in school. I never want to be an actor. I want to encourage you, give it a go, become an actor. It's very, no one wants to listen to a story like, hi Pasadena, there was once a little boy and he lost his boat. He built it and then he lost it and the wind came and, use your body. Whoosh, the wind came, And he was so sad. And you actually want to exaggerate your actions. Now you might say, I'm going to look like a fool. Every time I think I'm going to look like a fool, you think about Jesus.
Yeah.
Naked, bleeding, being spat on, being whipped, being beaten, people literally mocking him, beating him, spitting on him. And all we're asking you to do is fake cry in a story, just, you're like, who cares? Who cares if people walk by and go, what a loser? You're either never going to see them again, or they're going to get convicted, get saved, and you'll see them in heaven for eternity, all because you humbled yourself enough to fake cry. No, obviously it's Jesus, but you hear what I'm saying. Now, just on the altar call and on the urgency and on the need, why I want to encourage you to push through is last Sunday I preached at a church. It was a Sunday night, 4 p.m. service at a church called the Greenhouse. I get to the altar call and there's like 30 people in the church and I'm pretty convinced everyone's a Christian. I always give altar calls in churches. So everyone's there because you never know who came. And I start giving this altar call. And I am pounding it because no hands are going up. I actually don't think any hands are going up, but I just go for it anyway. And I'm like, you might be here and you say, but I'm a good person. You might be here and you've been coming to church for years. You might be here. I'm hitting everything. Boom, boom, boom. And I can feel their faces looking at me like, we're saved. Just move on with the message. But I keep hitting it. And then this boy sitting over to the left goes, and his sister, so special. His sister goes, literally out loud.